Isabella, welcome to the Well Vegan Travel Podcast.
Hi, it's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
I'm so thrilled you're joining us. Before we press record on this, you were telling me that today is a very busy day. You're fully booked at your vegan hotel, which of course is great news, but it makes me even more grateful that you were able to join me today.
Yes, it was a bit of a challenge, but I'm really glad to be here and it gives me a little break, so I'm happy.
Awesome. So, Isabella, you own with your partner a fully vegan hotel in a very special part of Switzerland. And I'm always so excited to talk with people that own vegan hotels because there's always a really interesting story about it. And it's quite a unique business model. So we're going to get into all of that. Tell us a little bit about you and what you do at Garden Hotel Primavera in Switzerland.
Yes. Me and my husband have decided to open this hotel in 2021. And our main goal was to create a vegan hotel, which will also offer experiences like yoga classes and transformational experiences. We also enjoy welcoming groups of vegan people that come over and we organize for them the whole week. So this is for us. It has two parts. One, it's a bit of a mission for us to spread the vegan concept. And on the second hand is also to let people know about the beauty of our region, which is Ticino. And we are on the shores of Lake Maggiore, which is one of the biggest lakes in northern Italy. And the end part of the lake, the northern part, is Switzerland. And it's us. And Ticino is actually where all the Swiss people come on holiday in summer. It's the summer spot for Swiss people.
And it's actually part of the Italian-speaking part of Italy. You have an Italian accent, I think.
Yeah, we speak Italian here. The canton Ticino speaks Italian. Schools are in Italian. Everything is in Italian. And we live really close to Italy. It's only 3 kilometers from the border with Piedmont. So we are very close. So this gives us a really Italian flair, but with a Swiss lifestyle.
Well, I've only spent a very short amount of time in the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland. I was in Lugano for a couple of nights. It was seriously beautiful and so clean, so Swiss, but also vineyards everywhere and this Italian lake vibe. Of course, it's Swiss lake vibe. Beautiful gardens, just stunning scenery. It was just lovely.
And I would say that the lake where we are, because you were on Lake Lugano, we are on Lake Maggiore, and our lake is even more beautiful. And it is especially interesting for those who enjoy Lake Como, because we're not far away. We're like 1 hour and a half from Lake Como, but on Lake Maggiore, you enjoy a much more open scenery. You can see the islands because we have beautiful islands to visit. So it is an amazing spot. And it really needed a vegan place for vegans to be able to enjoy it.
It just sounds absolutely idyllic. Oh, I'm so excited that you exist. I imagine that building a hotel from scratch, or I shouldn't say building because I know you took over an abandoned hotel, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And now today in 2026, you're fully booked. Mm-hmm. How did you decide to open a hotel in this place, in this way? And what have been some of the unique challenges and rewards that you have experienced?
So we decided to open a hotel because I did a hotel management school. So this is what I always did. I used to work in property management with vacation rentals. And in 2021, we had this opportunity to come back to Switzerland after 12 years in Italy and to come back to my hometown, which is Brissago, where the hotel is. So this opportunity was amazing and we decided to take it. And I have to be honest, we actually didn't realize we would open a vegan hotel. Because when we got the hotel, then after we signed everything, my husband looked at me and said, what are we going to do? Because we are vegan. And I said, well, we have to have a vegan hotel because I cannot be in a normal hotel. I need it to be vegan for me to feel comfortable. And my husband is vegan as well, and he was completely on board. So the main challenge, I would say, was to make people accept us in the area, because this hotel used to belong to a hunter that had a restaurant where they would sell a lot of meat. So this was a shock for the people in the area. And the first 2 years we had a restaurant, which was working pretty well. But after I got pregnant and we already had 2 children, this was the third, and I couldn't work as much. So we decided to close the restaurant and keep the breakfast. So we are concentrating a lot on the breakfast and on the brunch and on the extra activities we do. So the main challenge, I would say, was to make us accepted by the community and as well by the Swiss people, because many Swiss are still very concentrated on cheese and fondue and meat. But most of the people that come over, even if they're not vegan, and we have a lot of non-vegan guests, they do enjoy to be in a vegan hotel. So this makes us really happy because it helps us to spread the vegan concept to people that don't know about it. So we create movement. This is something that we really are passionate about.
Fabulous. I mean, I love the fact that you've got non-vegans staying in your hotel too, and that you've finally been accepted by the local community. But the hotel had been abandoned for a while. So does that mean the hotel had gone out of business from the hunter who owned it?
He didn't want to work anymore. So in 2019, he decided to stop. And there was no one else that wanted to restart it. So it basically was there sitting empty. And when we arrived, we saw like a white canvas that we could recreate in our own way. And if you go and see on the website, you will discover that all our rooms are different, that we have a very special vibe. And the challenge in that sense was to rebuild everything and to redecorate. And also because the house is actually an old lady, because she will turn 100 in 2 years. So this was also a challenge because we didn't renovate everything. Of course, it's not our building, we are renting it. So the challenge was as well to rebuild it without going broke and to be able to create something special for our guests. So it is a 2-star hotel. It's a kind of small, family run, but it has a lot of heart.
And how many rooms do you have in the hotel?
We have 22 rooms, depending on how we combine them.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
It's kind of a middle size because it is a lot for a family run hotel, but it is not that much to consider it a serious big hotel.
And I've looked at your website and I've looked at Google Maps, and you are located on the edge of Lake Maggiore. You have beautiful views from the hotel.
Yes, all our rooms have amazing lake view. Most of them have terraces that people can enjoy during the day. And we have a lot of people that stay here because they want to enjoy the sun and the calm, because it's a very relaxing area. There is no noise, so people can really enjoy, regenerate. And we have beautiful garden and 2 big terraces where people can sometimes read. At this moment right now, we have people in the terrace just enjoying, reading, taking the sun. So, yeah.
And what other facilities do you have? You mentioned that breakfast is included. I think I saw on the website you have yoga.
We have yoga every Saturday morning, and we can combine it with breakfast. Even for people that are not staying at the hotel, they can book yoga and breakfast, which is very appreciated. We have yoga and Pilates on Tuesday that can be booked by guests or by people also from outside. Our breakfast is pretty famous. We have people coming from outside to have breakfast. They just sometimes don't even sleep at the hotel, but maybe they rent a house, but they want to have breakfast here.
Oh, I love that idea. That's super fun.
And we cooperate with the massage therapists. So if you book a room, you can also book a massage, which is a special four-hands massage, something a bit uncommon, but really nice that I personally tried. And I have to say, it's something really special. And more than that, we're organizing seminars. Next one is going to be end of the month. And it's for women. Normally, these seminars are for small groups between 4 and 6 people. And this allows everyone to be really deep into it with the teacher. And so it's much more interesting than being in a big group. We have a nice lobby where we have a library. You can have your coffee, read a book, or you can have aperitivo. We have Prosecco in the fridge and glasses always available that you can enjoy on the terrace with some little Italian aperitivo.
How lovely. And I think you also have a relationship with a lovely restaurant close to the water where they provide a vegan dinner on request or something like that. How does that work?
They basically prepared a special menu for us, and the guests that are vegan can enjoy the half-board price and choose among different dishes. So it is something very nice because you can have dinner right on the lake shores. And I have to say that Calea, the restaurant with which we work, is one of the best restaurants in Brissago. What I wanted to say as well is Brissago has different restaurants. And since we opened, most of them are now offering both classical, but as well vegan offers, which are not the typical basic pasta, tomato, and grilled vegetable and French fries. So you can really choose among special dishes that have been thought through by the chefs. So we are very proud of this.
I think you should be. And I love that fact that you did have a restaurant, but you decided for completely understandable reasons to just focus on the breakfast. But now all of the restaurants nearby are choosing to integrate vegan food into their menus is super awesome because Brissago is not a large town, is it? It's quite small. And normally in the countryside and in small towns, vegan options can be a little bit slim.
No, it's not. We're really lucky because Calea has done an amazing job, and all our guests that have had dinner there or lunch, if they prefer, are really, really happy. But as well, when they just go freely to other places, they always find vegan choices, and they are always happy about them. Even the smallest pizzeria has a vegan pizza on the menu. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And a question that I have before we talk about why Brissago and Lake Maggiore is such a wonderful place to spend a vacation. Can you explain how people get to Brissago? Because it's sort of a little bit out the way, maybe. It's not super easy to get to. Maybe I'm wrong.
It depends. If you fly, for example, if you are from abroad and you want to fly in, you have two options. Either you fly to Zurich and then you very easily catch the train from Zurich train station and you go all the way to Locarno. And then you're basically 20 minutes away from us because with just a bus ride, you are at the hotel. The second one is to fly to Malpensa. And from
Milan?
Yeah, Milano Malpensa. Then from Malpensa, you have buses that will go along the lake on the Italian side and reach us easily in, I would say, 1 hour and a half, 2 hours.
Okay, I haven't spent any time on Lake Maggiore, but I have on some of the Italian lakes, and it is stunning. It's just scenic, beautiful scenery everywhere you look.
Yes, it is.
So you have very kindly put together a 5-day itinerary of what people could do if they decided to make the leap and spend 5 days in this beautiful area in the lakes. I'd love it if you could go through day by day and explain what there is to see and do. When I was looking through the notes you kindly made of this, I was shocked at just how many beautiful and varied things that you can do in this area. So I'd love it if you could start with day one. Imagine that we've arrived. We spent day 0 traveling to Lake Brissago. We've got an early night. We're feeling very well rested. Let's talk about what could do on day 1.
So on day 1, the first thing you do when you wake up is have a yoga lesson and breakfast.
Oh.
If you don't want to do yoga, you can skip it and go straight to breakfast. And then after that, on the first day, I would send you to a treasure hunt, because Brissago is also known as the land of the pirates. So we have a beautiful itinerary that will take you around Brissago to discover all the particularities of history and special places. If I start to tell you, it's going to take a full day. So I prefer to let you discover it on your own, because Brissago has a very rich history. And after this in the morning, then at lunch, I would suggest you go to Calais for lunch, where we have, as we said, a special convention, and you can enjoy a very nice menu. And in the afternoon, you could visit the Leoncavallo Museum, dedicated to the famous literary composer and librettist from Napoli. Ruggero Leoncavallo wrote very famous libretti, like the one that you probably know, which is Ridi Pagliaccio, and it's pretty famous. And there as well, you will be in one of the most beautiful ancient buildings, palaces of Brissago. In the evening, you can have dinner at Caesar restaurant, which is also another place where you have a very big choice of vegan dishes. This would be your day 1.
Okay, well, I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Why is Brissago known as Land of the Pirates?
Oh, this goes back to 1521, because Brissago is on the lake shores. And at that time, when there were only wooden boats, there were pirates on the lake that would raid the villages. There are some legends that say, for example, that Brissago had his own pirates, that when the others would come, our pirates would tell the village to put outside of the windows only very old clothes and rugs. And when the pirates from Italy would come over, they wouldn't stop in Brissago, because they would think that Brissago was very poor. So they wouldn't raid.
Good tactic.
This is one of the many legends that we have. And then we have the Brissago Islands just in front of us, where some of the pirates had their treasures hidden. And there are many legends about.
Oh,
Yes. And then
I see.
in 21, because this is the year when Brissago chose to be part of Switzerland instead of the Ducato di Milano. And this created conflict between those who wanted to stay with the Italians and those who wanted to be with the Swiss. Here we had two families that were very famous in that time. And one of these 2 families became the pirates family, the one that wanted to stay with the Italians and that was cast away during that time. So yeah, it's a big history that we have about that.
That's amazing. Leon Cavallo, did he spend time in Brissago? Is that why there's a museum for him there? Because I think he's from Napoli originally.
He was, during his travels, in the late part of his life, he discovered Brissago and decided to live here. And he actually died here. He had a villa, a very nice villa in Brissago, an ancient 1900, the time. He had this beautiful villa, Villa Miriam, and he spent a lot of time there. And he actually died there. Now I don't remember exactly the year. I think it was 1907, something like that.
Okay.
And after that, Napoli came and they decided to take the body back to Napoli. So here we have a memorial for him and the museum where we have his pianoforte and many of the artifacts that were in the house, in his villa, that you can visit in our palace, which is called Palazzo Brancabacalà.
Well, I love day one. By the end of day one, I'm going to have a really good sense of Brissago and the history there. But maybe it would be nice to get out on the water in day two. So what might you suggest for day two?
On day two, you can catch the boat at the lake shore in front of Calais restaurant and visit the Brissago Island, which is the only botanical garden on water in Switzerland. The botanical garden on the Brissago Islands hosts around 2,000 different plants coming from all over the world. It is a very special climate. It's one of the unique places where you have so many different species growing together in the same place. And the water of the lake keeps the temperature very stable, which allows the plant to grow and flourish. So, and it is really special, especially because Brissago Island is not the same as the other islands on the lake. This is much more wild and you can really discover plants. And then on the island, you have Villa Emden, which is the palace that hosts art galleries and that change every 2 or 3 months. So every time people come and visit, if they come multiple times during the year, they can always discover something new. And from the island, you can go to Ascona, which is the pearl of the lake. The village of Ascona, one of the most beautiful ancient villages of Switzerland, has a very beautiful lake promenade with restaurants. And in the old cobblestone town, it has all the little boutiques and it is really something to explore. Very beautiful.
So I guess you have to take the boat back to Brissago and then you can go to Ascona by...
You can, from the lake shore of Brissago, you catch the boat, you go to the island. Then from the island, you go to Ascona on boat. And then from Ascona, you either come back by boat or you catch a bus, which will take you to Brissago in 20 minutes.
And I'm imagining with all of this excursions and exploring the local area, because Switzerland has such incredible public transport, I'm sure it is very easy to do. You wouldn't need a car. Is that fair to say?
Well, those are very easy because unless you're coming in one of the days like today, where everyone is here, then you have trouble in finding parking. But otherwise, here to move around is pretty easy. And by boat, by bus, or by car, I would say that you choose. You can even go by bike if you want. It is even
that makes sense.
By bicycle, because in Brissago, you can rent a bike, either by us at the hotel, but our bikes are normal bikes. But if you go down to the village, you can rent an e-bike, and then you can even put it on the boat. And then you go with the e-bike, and then you come back. So you go by boat, but with your e-bike, and then you do the back road, you go back with bike.
So easy. Love Switzerland and the public transport. It's amazing. Well, that sounds like a lovely day too, getting out on the water. What do you suggest for day 3?
For day 3, after a delicious breakfast at our hotel, then you can head out to Italy, which is really close. It's only 15 minutes by car, 20 minutes by bus, or by boat if you want. And you can visit the village of Cannobio, which is as well a very nice little village with a lot of little shops and cobblestone streets. On Sunday morning, if you're here on that time, they do the street market on the main square on the lake shores, and it's something that is extremely famous in Switzerland. There are some people that come here only to go to Cannobio and to the Cannobio street market on Sunday morning. We, as locals, don't go there on Sunday morning. We go only during winter time, because from now until October, it is for us impossible. Too many people. But it's really something to see. It's magical. And if you don't want to see it so crowded, you just go during a weekday And then you don't have the market, and you can really enjoy the piazza on the lake and visit maybe the churches and the cobblestone street.
And you mentioned crossing the border. And if you're using public transport, is it a hassle to cross the border,
No.
or do you just drive straight over?
No, you just drive, and then they might stop you and ask you for your ID. But it's very relaxed, because for us here, we are border people. So we live with the border in the middle, but we all know each other. So they know we have hotels. They know there is a lot of tourism. So as long as you have your papers in order, but I guess you did if you catch a flight, or if you go to Switzerland, it should be fine. And so, no, it's really easy. What they look at, it's not really the passport, but what you have in your car, because you cannot buy too many things in Italy and then bring them back to Switzerland. You have to pay taxes and these kind of things, but like normal. I mean, nothing major.
Okay. Sounds easy. Sounds easy. And that does sound like a lovely place to go and visit and hang out. Mm-hmm. Something I'm curious about is if there is a lot of hiking in the surrounding area.
Oh, yes, a lot. Because if you look at the map, we are on the pre-Alps. So the Alps are behind the mountains that you see behind our hotel. So in the pre-Alps, you have a lot of hikes. From the hotel, you can even just start from here and walk up to the mountain. And you have, for example, Pizzoleone, which is beautiful. Or you have the Capanna a Legno, which is a little ugio, where you can even spend the night if you want. And then in the morning, you can go higher to Monte Giridone, which is basically divided between Switzerland and Italy. And this is one of the particularities of this area, that if you walk up the mountain high enough, you can just cross the border without even noticing. You have a path and you find yourself in Italy.
And of course, the signposting and the directions is so wonderful in Switzerland. People still have to be careful with hiking, but they can be quite confident that they're not going to get lost.
No, because
the distance between waypoints is going to be accurate.
We actually did this year, we redesigned the Brissago map, because we, as a hotel, we are part of an association with the other hotels and restaurants. And all together, we have planned a new Brissago map for tourists. So if you get to the hotel, you will receive a map which is fantastic, because you have all the itineraries for the hikes. You have all the QR codes for all the timetables of buses and boats and anything. It's on the map. And you have all the restaurants and hotels and shops of all types signed in the map. And even if you need a doctor or if you need any service during your stay, you have all the information there. And you can even call a taxi, for example, if you need it. Some people do that. They start their walk. They go up to the mountain. When they come back and they reach the main road, they just call the cab, and the cab goes and pick them up or bring them back to the hotel.
I am not surprised that Brissago has got amazing maps. Mapping in Switzerland is just on another level. It's incredible. Let's talk about day 4. You mentioned going to Borromeo Island.
Borromeo Island is my absolute favorite spot in the area. It's really magical. The Borromeo Islands are 3 islands, and each one of them has something special to see. The most beautiful one is Isola Bella, and on the Isola Bella you can visit the palace and the gardens. And it's really something amazing. You need to see it. And they do like 1 million visitors per year. They are really famous.
Wow.
And it's really something special that Lake Como doesn't have. And it always makes me wonder why people are so concentrated on Lake Como, especially Americans. They know Lake Como. But if they knew Lake Maggiore is so much nicer, especially with this kind of gems. So we have Isola Bella, and then we have Isola Pescatori, which is the fisherman's island, where you have a little village just on the shores of the island. And you have a lot of little restaurants and shops and souvenir shops and gelaterie. It's really nice. And then you have the third island, which is called Isola Madre, the mother island, where you have the house of the Borromeo family. The Borromeo is an ancient Italian family that used to own the lands between Milano and Lake Maggiore. And after these three islands, they have got more historical sites like La Rocca di Angera, which is also not far away from the island. And the history of the family is also very interesting. For example, now from the Borromeo, Beatrice Borromeo married Pier Casiraghi from the family of Grace Kelly.
Oh.
Yeah, and they live in Monaco, I think, in France. So it's very important families. And they got married in the fourth island, which is a private island that they still own. But this is the fourth island and it's private. And they got married right there, just in front of Isola Bella and Isola Pescatori. So really beautiful spot to visit.
And are those islands in the Swiss part of Lake Maggiore or in the...
They are in the Italian part, but from Brissago by car, it's only 35 minutes. And along the lake, so while you drive, you really have amazing sceneries. Or you can just reach them by boat.
Okay. So I'm guessing from what you say that there is a network of boats on the lake that takes people almost like a bus service,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Rather than just a ferry that goes out and back. It just sort of takes people around. And I see that a lot in the Italian lakes and also in Switzerland generally.
Yes. Yes. When I was 15, I had a friend who was coming to school by boat every day. Because she lived on the other side, and she would come by boat, and I always envied her so much.
Amazing. Okay, and day 5, we touched a little bit on hiking, and you told us about that. But you also will prepare lunch boxes for hiking too, right?
Of course.
Or for people that just want a picnic.
Exactly, because we have hikes, and we have also very beautiful beaches on the lake shore. So if you are with your family and that you don't want to go to restaurant, you just want to go to the beach, then we prepare lunch boxes that you can enjoy straight on the beach. And Brissago offers a lot for families as well. So you have playgrounds, you have what we call here we call it Lido. It's a private beach and restaurant and pools, everything together, which is super fantastic for families because I have 3. One is 20 years old, so when she goes there, she's with her friends. One is 10 years old, and she goes already into the lake and sometimes into the pool. And then I have a 4-year-old, and she goes into the kids' pool. So
Perfect.
they're all in the same place, and I can look after everyone.
Fabulous. And you also recommended finishing off by having a toast of your last evening at Pizzolione, is that right?
Yes, Pizzolione is just above us, and it's one of the most beautiful places for the view, because from Pizzolione you see the whole lake. It's very special.
Wow. I tell you, Isabella, you have absolutely convinced me. This just sounds absolutely glorious.
And I didn't mention everything because we only had 5 days. I didn't want to make it a month. You know what? We have so many more things to do here. A lot.
And if I remember well, this Ticino area canton has like the sunniest weather in Switzerland, or the best climate, according to people that like it a little bit warmer, I guess. Is that right?
Yes, it is. It is a microclimate, which is why the Brissago Island have so many plants growing there, even plants that only grow in South Africa or in very warm areas. So yes, that's why here at the hotel we have a lot of last-minute reservations, because the Swiss Germans, they look at the weather forecast, and if they see that they have snow or they have rain, and here we maybe already have, like today, for example, here it's around 18 degrees already, but in the German part of Switzerland, they are still at 10, 12 degrees. So for them to drive 2 hours and arrive here and have the sun and the lake and the terraces, for them, it's like being in complete summertime. So yeah, that's why they call it the
I love
sunny.
it.
Ticino is called the sunny terrace of Switzerland.
Wow. Well, you have convinced me, Isabella. I'm sure it's not going to be long before we come and check out this part of the world. It looks absolutely beautiful. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time, even though you're so busy today, for chatting with us. Please do tell us again the name of the hotel and how people can learn more, your social media handles, and how people can learn about any special offers or news that's happening at your hotel.
Yes, so they can go to our website, which is gardenhotelprimavera.com. Very easy. Or on Instagram at gardenhotel_primavera. And there you will find all our offers and everything that is going on. For example, right now we have a special offer for people under 25. So if you are a young couple and want to spend some days, some holidays here, then you will enjoy a 15% discount. We look forward to welcome you and anyone that wants to visit Ticino. And we enjoy as well explaining and sending people to see the most beautiful places of the area.
Thank you so much, Isabella, and good luck with your busy weekend.
Thank you so much, and I hope to meet you soon.